We got Aaron Grant here.
What's up, listeners?
What up, everybody? All right, man. So, Eric, you're one of the interesting things that Luis has talked to me about is you're a beekeeper.
Yeah. I've been beekeeping for a year now. The start of this season is going to be my second year. It's pretty cool. Learned a lot of interesting facts about bees.
Yeah, so I didn't know a whole lot about bees until Luis started talking to me about you. He's saying how bees are these resilient little critters, and they kind of take care of themselves, you know. And
yeah, they certainly are resilient, man. They fight off like pests. Not to mention that they like keep their hive heated to like 90 degrees all winter long.
That's what Luis.
It's crazy.
That's what Luis was saying.
So, do you think your bees are going to survive this winter since it's like below zero? I think it's like -2, or it's going to go down to -2, -4.
Man, I sure hope so. I checked on them recently when we had that warm weather. Opened up the hive, and I still had a good number of bees, but I had some mold in there.
Was that time the one where I got fucked up on the fucking
Yeah,
eye?
that was the time when Louise got stung in the face.
Right in the eye,
Dude,
or not right in the eye, but right on my.
So yeah, dude, Luis sent a picture in our group chat, man. He was just freaking, his face was swollen and everything. Who the hell hit you? You know what I'm saying? Who the hell gave you that right hook?
Dude, it's funny because it like started off with just like a little mosquito bite looking type of thing, and then the next day it got bigger. Then the day after got fucking huge. I'm like, God damn,
dude.
So I'm lucky we didn't freaking bet then.
Oh, yeah.
I would have lost that bet.
Dude, I bees, because I've always heard bees, you know, that once they sting, they die. Is that true? Pretty much true?
So bees can actually
Damn
sting.
right, that's true. That freaking bee died.
Yeah. Bees can sting another insect however many times it wants to, but once it stings a mammal, it has a barb on the end of its stinger, so once it penetrates the skin, that barb gets stuck in the skin and just kind of rips out and pulls some of their guts out when they sting you. So they leave their stinger in a trail of guts.
So it's not something they like.
They choose to.
Yeah,
it's like a kamikaze last
Okay.
resort. Yeah, but at the same time, like I've heard, like some bees, like you'll work the hive. Say the bees got riled up in the hive. 30 minutes later, you're outside. The bees might still be pissed off, and like they'll come in and like try to sting you. It doesn't happen very often, but with some bees it does. But to think about, it's like, wow, you're so mad that you're going to give your own life just to sting me, just to give me like a 30-second inconvenience.
Well, do you think they know that? Do you think they you know?
I don't. Yeah, well, I really don't know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And when you go out, you're wearing the white beekeeping like normal beekeeping suit to keep them from stinging you. Well, like what is that made of? Just like nylon kind of stuff?
Yeah, so it almost feels like denim, but it's not denim. I'm not really sure what material it is, but yeah, I feel like you can kind of imagine.
Yeah, I can't imagine being caught outside when bees are swarming without one of those on.
Man, if you get on our Instagram page, the Joplin Buzz, you can see a picture of me. The caption is like, "We don't need to smoke them today."
Yeah.
It's like you smoke the bees to calm them down. Well, this day I like the frames were really stuck together with propolis in the hive, and I was trying to move the frames to get them back in a line. And when I did it, I accidentally pushed the hive, and doing so, I knocked one of the frames over that had bees on it, so it just pissed the bees off, and they were like flying all around me. There had to be at least 800 bees flying around me.
Shit, dude, just pissed off.
Yeah. So with you working, like on the bees, what type of things do you do? Like, what do you work on that helps?
So, typically working the hive.
Working the hive.
It's another word for inspecting the hive. Whenever you are a beekeeper, your best chance of success is to react before something happens that you need to react to. And the only way you can do that is to be observant and learn the natural bee behavior. Learn to watch what to look for that's not normal, and then you can react to it in time before it gets bad.
So, like, what kind of things are you like looking for whenever you're inspecting these beehives? Huh?
Yeah, so there's a lot of times, hive beetles are a big issue. Hive beetles didn't actually used to be in America until just a few years ago, and then I think they came from Africa. I'm not positive on that one, but yeah, hive beetles are a big deal now, and if you aren't cautious with that, hive beetles can destroy a colony. But a strong colony can protect the hive and against pests and intruders. Another thing that can happen is varroa mites. And with that, it's really hard to find them. I have the screen bottom board with a plastic board underneath it that I can pull out. So sometimes the varroa mites will fall off the bees and they'll fall through that screen, and I can find them on the board if there are any. I actually haven't found any varroa mites, and we actually did a test for them. To test them, you have to get 100 bees and put them in a jar of rubbing alcohol and just shake them up.
So they're really small?
Yeah, they're very, very small. Like, they look like a little red dot on the bee, so they're hard to find.
Okay.
Yeah, and when testing it, like, you're killing 100 bees, but you have to think of it as like the colony as one organism. Like, you're sacrificing 100 cells to save 40,000.
So like pretty much like you're like kind of saying like you gotta amputate your leg in order to keep your whole body to survive.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So that's interesting. I didn't know. So how many bees do you have roughly? Do you know?
So a full hive, each frame can hold, I think it's 3,000 bees on both sides, so 6,000 bees a frame. So if a full 10 frame hive box was full, it'd be 60,000 bees. But at that point, there's too many bees, and your bees are going to swarm because there's no more room. So I'm guessing like around 40,000. 40, yeah.
Wow. And they all seem to stay around the area. Do some of them leave? Because I think I was talking to Luis, and he said they don't have a very long lifespan.
Right. So bees are designed to work themselves to death, basically, but they are loyal to the hive. They're loyal to the queen. And so they will, when a new bee is about to take flight, it'll do an orientation flight where it will like jump out of the hive and like fly up, down, left, right, and like circle around the hive. And it's just to get like orientated with its surroundings and whatnot. But then they have a 2 mile, they can fly up to 2 miles to find their food or water and bring it back. So, I mean, that's a 2 mile, what is that? A
radius?
Yeah, 2 mile radius that they have to explore, and they still all come back to the same hive. Wow. So I think they're...
Dude, that's awesome. And you said, so this frame, so this hive you have, is it like the ones you see everywhere, like the white boxes with like kind of they're like kind of like sheets, like you said?
Yeah.
And you like just pull up?
Yeah, the frames that you just pull out, almost like, I would almost describe it as like a record holder. Okay. Like something that you hold records and you just kind of pull the records out.
And so, could you describe a little bit of how they look? Is it just like a piece of paper on each frame, or is it like some cardboard, or like do they build their hive?
So the ones that I have, there's the wooden border on this top, bottom, and sides, and then there's plastic in the middle with like hexagonal holes in it, but it's that plastic is coated in a beeswax and like painted in beeswax, and that beeswax just helps the bees like draw it out quicker, and it's already in the hexagonal shape for the bees to pull it out too. So it's just a base for the bees to start their comb on.
So when you see these bees in like I guess in the wild, do they? Because that's kind of the staple, right? Those hexagonal shaped kind of structures that they make. Do they make those in the wild as well? Do you know?
Yeah, I think they're typically hexagonal shapes or circles, but yeah, I'm pretty sure they're typically hexagonal shaped.
So you said whenever the colony gets too big, they start to swarm. Yeah. So what does swarm mean to like people like for myself won't know like?
Yeah, so a colony can outgrow its hive. Like if a colony gets so big that it just doesn't have any more room in the hive, then it's probably going to swarm on you. So the hive will make a new queen cell, and it'll make a new queen. And then once the new queen is like made, then the then 60% of the bees, as well as the old queen, will fly off and to make a new hive. And so when that happens, that you're losing 60% of your bees, and then you're stuck with 40%.
So, how can you prevent your bees from leaving?
Yeah, there are a few ways to do it. So you can add another another brood box on top and just expand the hive like that. Or you can split it and split that hive into 2 hives. And you can either buy a new queen or just have the hive make a new queen.
So, how do the bees make their own new queen? Like, is there like a process that they have to do in order to?
Yeah. So there are 3 different types of bees. There's the drone bees, the worker bees, and the queen bees. And the queen bees, all of the bees at the very beginning are fed royal jelly when they are larvae. But
royal jelly?
Yeah, royal jelly. But then the worker bees and the drones are switched to bee bread, but the queen is strictly fed only royal jelly, which is why she gets so big, and which is why they need, like, the bees make the queen cells bigger. And then somehow eating that royal jelly just like makes her into this queen, and then she flies off and has to mate. She only mates like once in her life, and then is fertile for the rest of her life.
And she just keeps producing.
Yeah, and she'll lay. She'll lay a lot of eggs a day. I want to say it's like 1,000 eggs a day.
Wow.
Yeah,
What's the process from egg to, I guess, flying bee?
So
like, does it take a while?
It takes I want to say it takes 24 days for a bee egg to go from an egg to a bee, but it takes a little longer for them to go from a bee to a flying bee.
Oh,
so
really?
First the egg starts out as an egg, and when it is laid by the queen, it'll be standing straight up in the bottom of the cell, and then over the next 3 days, the egg will lay down and like to its side, and then it will turn into a larvae, and that's when they start feeding it. And then from that larvae, they will cap the cell over with beeswax, and then the larvae will pupate, and then through that it turns into a bee and hatches, and then whenever a bee hatches, the very first thing it does is clean out its cell. So it like comes out head first and then turns around and sticks its head back in and cleans out its cell. And then it becomes a worker bee. So it'll do things around the hive, like take out like the excrements, or attend to the queen, because the queen can't feed herself or get her own water, so attendant bees have to come and bring that. And there are also bees that
So pretty much like maids.
Right. And then there's also bees that tell the queen where to lay by marking the cells with a pheromone. So the queen just follows these bees down a line, laying eggs in these cells. And then once they reach a certain age, they become the foraging bees, which is when they'll take their first flight and do that orientation flight I talked about earlier. And once they've got that, then they're good to go around foraging and get pollen, nectar, water, and they come back. And bees they actually communicate with each other by dancing. So like a bee will come back, and they can tell the other bees where food and water are by wiggling, like shaking for a certain duration, and then
they hit the stanky leg
to
each other.
Yeah, they'll like shake, and then they'll like turn in a circle, and then they'll shake again and turn in a circle the other way, and like the duration of the shakes and the circles all has to do with the direction and how far it is, and like what it is they're looking for. So
and that's how they communicate.
Yeah, that's how the bees like can tell the other bees where all the stuff is.
Dude, that's interesting. Yeah. Dude, that's awesome. So that's really cool. So I know there's I think I know there's quite a few benefits. Will you name off a couple benefits of bees?
Yeah. So bees pollinate. Like they're one of their leading contributors to pollination. And I mean, without bees, there just wouldn't be as many crops or things to be like grown. Because, I mean, there are other pollinators. Bees aren't the sole pollinators. Like butterflies are pollinators as well. But, I mean, bees like I said earlier, bees are designed to work themselves to death. Like, they're gonna go at it, which means for their entire life, they're going to be working to pollinate flowers and crops, and
that's the pollination process. That's for plants and crops to kind of reproduce, right? That's kind of that process, if I remember right, like middle school science.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something about right. Yeah.
Well, dude, that's super interesting. You said you've had your beehive for about 2 years now.
No, I've had it for a year. This will be the start of my second year this season.
And so Luis had an interesting story that stood out to me. He was telling me you found like a field rodent or a rodent in your hive, and then the bees kind of took care of it.
No, I didn't find a rodent in my hive, but in the winter, that's something that you have to watch for are rodents. So you can buy mouse guards or whatnot. But the thing is, like, when a rodent gets in the hive, like, it's too big for the bees to carry, and so I mean they'll still like swarm it and kill it. They'll like sting it and ball it up.
Yeah.
And actually kind of like cook it, like beat their wings, create friction and heat.
Really?
Cook it, yeah. And then, like I said, it's too big for them to carry out, so they'll actually coat it in propolis, which is bee glue, basically, and it almost mummifies it. They just coat it so it like doesn't decompose in your hive.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, that's super cool. Yeah, because I know.
That's like saying, yeah, don't worry about that. Just keep on working. Go around it, go above it.
And
don't mind that.
I know there's the main kind of byproduct of bees is honey, you know. So,
Right.
do you have you had I guess your first jar of honey from your bees?
Yeah. So I harvested honey last season in maybe October. It was either September or October. I can't remember. But I got just a few pounds of it. My bee partner Blake, he had a harvest and he got a good amount. He got 2.5 gallons from that. So
wow.
We both got a harvest from our hive, and I'm expecting to have some more honey this year, because this year, if my bees survive the winter, I'm not at base 1, so my bees don't have to take the time to start up because they're already started. And pretty soon, like end of this month or beginning of next month, the queen is probably going to start laying, and then the bees are going to be more active.
So what is that honey? What do you know what it's made of? Do you know what it actually how it's made or what it is?
Yeah. So honey, bees they'll take what they eat. They'll take the pollen and the nectar. Pollen is our bees' biggest source of protein. That's their main source of food is pollen. Honey is just like the backup food. Like that's what they need to get through the winter when there is no pollen.
So it's not like they're like it's not like we're eating their shit or anything, you know. It's like, well, you know what I'm saying.
Hang with me there.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, so the bees eat the pollen and the nectar, water, sugar, and then they digest it. But the honey is them. So I don't necessarily know what happens, but in their stomach it turns into honey, and then they regurgitate it, and so essentially honey is bee vomit.
Okay.
But,
God
yeah.
damn.
See, I didn't know that. I don't think many people know how honey is made. So yeah, dude, that's awesome, dude. Well, if you really think about it, it's kind of
I mean,
it's a little gross, but no, dude. But honey, what? So from the pollen, and they regurgitate this substance, and they kind of store it.
Yeah. They put it in the frames, and they store it, and when it's ready to be capped, like whenever the cells are full, they'll cap it over with beeswax. And so like whenever you harvest honey, you'll just have like a frame of just capped honey. Just it looks like white beeswax, almost like a whitish yellow beeswax.
So do you what's the process of it? Do you grab like something and kind of scrape it off, or do you let it drip off? How's that work?
The way we did it, is we're members of the Joplin Bee Association, and with that we can borrow a honey extractor from them, and so you pull the frames, and we used it almost looked like an Afro pick, but it's to like stick in and break the cappings off, just to uncap all the cappings, and then you stick them in the honey extractor, which is this big cylinder that has holders for the frames, and you stick the frames in there once you have them all decapped, and then you crank it, and it spins them all around, and then all the honey is thrown to the outside onto the walls of the extractor, and it runs down, and there's a nozzle at the bottom for the honey for you to pour the honey out, and you just set your bucket with the honey filter in the bucket on top and let the honey pour in there.
That's awesome. So
It's pretty cool.
how satisfying was it to, I don't know, pour your first squirt of honey into, like, I don't know, your tea or onto like a slice of bread? How satisfying was that?
It was very satisfying, I would say that, but not as satisfying as it was to watch the honey come out of the honey extractor. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. It's like you work towards something, and you get to see the outcome and see how it all comes together, dude. That's awesome, man. So, what are your plans for your hive or for your bees?
So this year I'm thinking about splitting my hive into 2 hives. I haven't completely decided how I'm going to do it yet, but what I'm leaning towards is putting a deep brood on top of my hive and letting them fill that out. And then at the end of the season, soon enough for them to make their own queen, pull it out and make sure that both hives have the amount of honey that they need and resources they need to get through the winter. But a downside from that is doing that, it will take longer for my bees to actually be gathering honey to store, because they'll be working on building out the new hive.
Dude, so I saw this video. Do bees really pollinate marijuana buds?
Yeah, I mean, if there's a flower with pollen that pollinates with other flowers, then bees will pollinate it.
Is there do you know that if that makes any different in the bud, or does it make that bud?
I mean, I'm sure that it can yield a higher crop.
Okay.
Like more product.
For sure.
So if you're growing some marijuana, get some bees. Does that change? So let's say they get the pollen off the marijuana plant. Does that change the honey at all? Does any pollen, is all pollen kind of the same?
So do you get CBD honey?
See, I actually don't know if that happens, if there's any effects from bees getting pollen from marijuana, but there is a thing called mad honey, and mad honey comes from the pollen of rhododendron bushes, which are bushes that you've probably seen. They're all around town. They're just a flowering bush with big ball flowers. Anyway, if you can get a field of those, or manage to get your bees to just get a lot of pollen from rhododendron bushes, then you'll have a psychedelic honey.
So what kind of psychedelic? What would you feel, or what would you go through?
I mean, I've never
would you feel that it. Okay.
So I can't speak of it. I imagine it's probably like shrooms.
Like shrooms.
Yeah.
How popular is that?
In the Netherlands, it's pretty popular. In Amsterdam, when you go to a coffee shop, you can order it in your tea, but they have to put it in for you. They're not
really?
gonna put it in because
they're not gonna let you pour an extra squirt in there.
I'm pretty sure the normal dose is a teaspoon.
Really?
A teaspoon. Yeah, I think a teaspoon's a normal dose.
Yeah.
Teaspoon or tablespoon, one of the two.
Damn, I might have to invest in that here.
Get a little beehive going on. Yeah, dude, that's awesome. And I know for a while bees were either
going
they were going to be
maybe,
put on the endangered list, or they were on the endangered list. But
yeah, I did hear that also. like the bees in America, or the bees we see in America, are not native to America. They've all come from somewhere else. Like the ones you see most often, the wild bees, there's probably the Africanized honeybees, which are also the more aggressive honeybees. They get the nickname buckfast bees. I think that's what it is. Buckwild, buckfast, something like that. Those are the bees that if you work the hive 3 days later, they're still going to be mad at you and come get you.
Stop, still they hold grudges.
Yeah, they hold grudges. But the other bees are cool. Like, I have the carniolan bees. Typically, they're pretty docile, but mine have gotten worked up a few times. But you can also get Italian bees and Russian bees. Those are also great bees, especially for beginners. All three of those, the carniolans, Italians, and Russians, would be great starters.
So which one are your bees?
I have carniolan bees. Yeah, carniolan bees are they're very in tune with the sun. So the queen will like start and stop laying according to the sun. So like I said, should be sometime the end of this month or the beginning of next month when my queen starts laying eggs.
Nice.
So that's pretty interesting. And I know, their structures. Because I kind of want to compare bees to like ants and how the ants have these intricate kind of tunnels and pathways. Are bees kind of like that? Do they have like I guess you would say, I don't know, their living area, and then like do they have different spots within the hive?
Yeah, actually in a way they do. So they don't have tunnels like ants do because it's just a hive, but I mean, they have the entrance, which typically you want pretty small because it helps the bees protect the hive from intruders. But then on each frame, like you'll find, like once you learn a hive, you can, if you're looking for something, you know what frames to pull out because like they build their hives basically on the same way. On the outer frames, is typically going to be honey or excrements, but the worker bees will carry the excrements out. And then as you come like closer in, you'll get some pollen, maybe some more honey, and get closer in, then you're going to find the brood and the larvae and the eggs and probably more pollen, and then a honey rainbow on the top of the frames. But then with that's just the hive body. But then when you like want to harvest honey, you put a super box on top of that, which is just like a honey box, but you put a queen excluder in between them. And the queen excluder is it almost looks like a cookie cooling sheet. It has holes in it big enough for the worker bees to go through, but too small for the queen to go through. And so that prevents the queen from going up there and laying eggs. So the only thing that's getting put there is the excess honey. So when you harvest honey, you're harvesting from that the super box, and the honey that the bees have in the hive is the honey that they need. So you're not taking away the honey they need. You're just taking their excess honey. But I mean, they're still not going to be happy about it. They'll let you know. But when
I learned that the hard way.
When I did harvest though. After I finished harvesting, I put all the honey frames back in the super box, and then on the other side of my house, away from the hive, I set it up on a table on its side, so like all the frames were exposed, and then my bees found it instantly, and they came and they like just got all around it, and like for the next like almost like 45 minutes to an hour, they were just working on cleaning it up and taking the honey back to their hive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Give my shit back.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, motherfucker.
Do that.
So, do you do anything besides beekeeping? Is there anything else you like do besides?
I like photography. I got a camera. Yeah, that's one thing I do with my bees is take pictures. And then I like to walk. I like nature. I like being outside. I like to play disc golf quite a bit. Yeah.
What's his name? Forrest, he came in like not too long ago. He also likes going out and doing nature.
I played disc golf with Forrest a few times.
Heck yeah.
It's pretty fun.
You pretty good. You got an arm on you?
I like to think I'm pretty good, but I mean, there are people better than me.
Hey, man, like, you're better than me, that's for sure.
Yeah, I've been a couple times, and it's fun, but yeah, like I told Forrest, like, oh man, I'd try to throw my arm out, trying to throw it as far as I can, you know.
Yeah, that's how I do as well.
Or I'd try to do like some cool shot where it comes back, you know, it goes like way out to the right and then comes back in.
Yeah, dude, like mine, dude, I freaking throw it like, oh shit, it's fucking coming back.
Yeah, you throw it straight up.
Not too long ago, I broke my elbow. It was my throwing arm, my right elbow, but I was bummed because I couldn't play disc golf. It's like, you know what, I'm still gonna go throw. I'm just gonna throw left-handed.
Yeah.
I tried to drive with my left hand, and I hurt my shoulders so bad. Like I threw it, and it like felt like my arm got pulled like out, and it's like
Yeah, dude. Dude.
All right, time to go home.
When you do anything with your opposite hand, it's just like
it's unnatural.
Yeah, it's like useless. You know, you hurt yourself.
Yeah.
'Cause just you're not used to the movement.
I think that's crazy that we don't realize how much we depend on our dominant hand, and we don't realize that we can't do shit with our non-dominant hand. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, like if you try brushing your teeth with your other hand, you're like,
like
you can't.
And then there are people who are ambidextrous. Like my cousin's ambidextrous, he uses both hands.
See, that's a talent. That's a talent too. Right
That'd
there.
be cool too, yeah.
But
So, which hand do you want to get fucked up with? The fucking right one or the left one?
But you said nature as well. You like nature, so you like hiking and kind of.
Yeah, I like hiking and fishing, camping, stuff like that. Yeah, I really like going down to Ponca, Arkansas. Haven't been there in a while, but that's a really cool place to hike around. And then my brother lives in Fayetteville. I like to go to Devil's Den down there too. Okay. But like also it plays into each other's like disc golf and hiking. When you're playing disc golf, you're basically hiking. Yeah. And there are some courses where you're playing just like it feels like you're hiking, like you're walking alongside some cool stuff.
Yeah, it can be like that. I just started playing golf, and it can be like that with golf too. You know, if you so you can get like a push cart, you know, for your bag and everything. You can walk the course and everything, and it's kind of, if you go, there's been like maybe twice that I've gone by myself and kind of walked the course, and it's really cool just being out there and setting your bag down, you know, lining up your shot and everything, going through your shot, and then like hopefully it's a good shot, you know. And then you just walking up to it, because a lot of golf courses are really beautiful, you know. They're really nice, they're taken care of, you know. And so I definitely can relate to that walk, you know, because disc golf's kind of the same, you know. I don't know that I've been to the Joplin, I think like Schiffendecker has a maybe does it have, I think that they have a course there.
Yeah, they have a golf course there.
Which one did we go to last time when I was in Forest?
We went to McClone's.
McClone's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cause
dude, like, I know you're a big theory type of guy. Is there any like specific theory that is really on your mind every day, or like?
So honestly, right now, like the subject that's been on my mind is aliens. Yeah,
I think that's a big one.
It's a very big one, and I've been thinking about it quite a bit. I mean, I'm just really curious about it.
I saw this article, and also I think you told me as well that supposedly the government has till like June something to release some kind of like document about them.
Yeah, I'm not sure on the date when it has to be released by, but I'm pretty sure it has to do something with the Freedom of Information Act. But the government has until a certain date to release all the information they have on UFOs.
I don't. Luis was telling me about that, and I think that would be interesting. I wonder how crazy it would be, you know, if we somehow, you know, come up with some actual like evidence of UFOs or of aliens or other life. You know. I wonder what the tone of life is, you know, is going to be like. You know.
That thought has crossed my mind too. But I mean, they have been around for a long time. If aliens are real, they've been around a long time. And if I don't know if you've heard of the Black Vault files. It's either the Black Vault files or Black Vault records.
I think I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Don't really know much of it. But
I can't remember the guy's name, but if you look that up, then you can see it, and it's I think it's from like 1963 to 1985. This dude got through the Freedom of Information Act, he got documents of UFO information from the CIA sent to him. He had to pay for it, of course, and fill out requests for the information. But all that is available for the public currently online.
So, what do you think about these alien? What do you think they want? Or
who's to say, honestly? I saw that the Minister of Defense, the Canadian Defense, anyway, he was talking about aliens and how there are, I forget how many he said, but there are multiple known species of aliens, and according to him, that U.S. governmental officials have had face-to-face interactions with these aliens.
Oh, shit.
And for the most part, aliens are cool with Earth. They're like, yeah, do what you guys are doing, but they don't like the war and the nuclear weapons. Supposedly, they're afraid that we're going to use the atomic bomb again and throw off the balance of the cosmos. And aliens, supposedly, have been giving us technology for a while. Have you seen this declassified CIA document of Nikola Tesla?
I have seen that.
Yeah.
I think Julie was the one that sent that in
Yeah, I
the
saw it
group
on
chat.
Snap one day. I saw it on Snap. Yeah, someone posted something about those files and what the FBI's investigation was on Nikola Tesla.
Well, think about it though. Who else can come out with huge inventions every 28 days?
He had so many inventions, some that we still use today.
Yeah. Wireless communication.
Yep.
That's Nikola Tesla.
Yeah, dude, and it's interesting because they did in those files it said something about that they think he's from another planet or something.
Yeah, he's from an alien from Venus supposedly.
Yeah.
So, allegedly.
So, so with that being said, do you think alien live among us?
I believe that if aliens are real and they have been around as long as they've been around, then they are living among us. Yeah.
You know what? I just hope. Men in Black. I just hope that movie is true. You know what I'm saying? My next door neighbor. He's an alien or something, or there's some Men in Black.
So how do you think they look like? Because the way I think alien looks like are not the way that we think they look like the big baldly head or with a small body or
right
or
So there are a species of aliens called the Nordic Whites, and they are said to be look identical to humans. And then there's also the tall whites who are just really in their natural form. It's tall white beings, but can more change shapes into humans. Right.
So whenever they come off their freaking UFO, you see alien walking out.
You know what? The first thought I had is a scary movie. And the aliens. That's the first thought I had.
Yeah. And there's also the reptilians, and they say that the reptilians can change form into humans, and there have been pictures of these people who are believed to be reptilians and have the I forget what it's called, but it's the centerfold peek through on a beak, whatever.
It's kind of like a shapeshifter kind
of
looking thing.
Right.
Okay.
But there's this. Have you know who Bob Lazar is? Yeah,
he's a big I think UFO guy. Did he used to work for?
Yeah, he worked for a division of Area 51, and his specific job was to work on the spaceship, this flying saucer disc, and figure out how it works. They wouldn't give him information about it. and so, that was his job. And so he was paired up with one other person. And that was a weird thing about it, is they wanted to keep it so confidential that they didn't want everybody working together. So they had multiple people working on this, but you can only be in a pair of two, and you and your partner cannot share any of the information you gathered with the other people working on the ship. And so Bob said that's something he was very frustrated with, because it would have been much easier for them to figure it out if they could all work together. But he said they were never allowed to get access on the ship until one day Bob was like, hey, man, and if I want to get a better understanding of how the ship works, I need to see the inside of this thing. So he said he got in there and he described it, and he said that nothing had perfect corners. Everything was like rounded or bubbled. There was no right angle anywhere. But he also described it as being built for someone who was 3 feet tall. That the whole time he was in there, he had to be like crouched over. And he said that there was only, I think he said 2 seats in there. No bathrooms. It's just like open with like buttons and stuff like that.
The topic of alien is it's so interesting, and I'm optimistic on other beings, you know, or other life forms, in not only in our galaxy but in the universe. You know, it's kind of it's hopeful. You know, there's this quote. It's like it's either there's 2 possibilities. We're alone, or in this universe, or we're not. You know, and both of them are equally, you know, kind of terrifying. You know, and so with this alien talk, space travel has been pretty big here recently in the past years and stuff. Do you have any thoughts on maybe us moving to another planet, or you being like, I know there's Tesla's trying to go to Mars, you know, or SpaceX, you know.
I think that's going to be a long time in the future if that were to happen. I'm talking like I don't think we're going to see that in our lifetime.
Yeah, I'd hope. I'm optimistic, and I'd hope we see some sort of progress towards that. Yeah,
we would probably, like, I can definitely see us seeing like observing and seeing steps taken to reach that goal. But as far as getting to that goal, that's going to take years to come. Like, especially, how long does it even take to fly to Mars?
6 months, I think.
6 months?
Is that right?
Yeah, 6 months is I
to
think,
Mars?
Yeah, I believe it's.
I thought it was like 3 years.
Yeah.
No, I think it's a 6-month flight. I heard that the other day. Yeah, I'll look that up real quick. But yeah, it's definitely a while to get to Mars.
I thought it took about like 3 to 6 months to get to the moon, I think.
No, it doesn't take that way.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
But dude,
6 months doesn't sound right to Mars.
It's like 250,000 miles to the moon.
Yeah, something like that. But if you imagine what a world on Mars would look like, you know, it's like right now it's a red planet, and I from what I've heard and from what I've gathered, it's covered in ice, you know, and I wonder, could you imagine what that a life would look like with, like, hey, yeah, I got some relatives up in Mars, you know what I'm saying? I want to go visit them for the summer, you know.
Like, I got some nephews over there and stuff.
Yeah, a future like that, you know what I'm saying? It'd be crazy, but like you said, it's a long time, and it'll be a while before that's even kind of a possibility.
Bro, that's kind of crazy to think about, because we haven't even found out what's on this Earth, really, because we haven't even discovered the whole jungle. We haven't discovered the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, we haven't
and the and the lake
Loch Ness.
We haven't found the bottom of that. So, making a big step towards that, it's kind of huge.
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of like mind blowing, because we can barely figure out what's going on here.
Right.
You know, I looked it up. It's around 7 months. It says the trip takes around 7 months, a bit longer than astronauts currently stay on the Interstellar Space Station.
Dang.
So around 7 months, man, being in a spaceship, you know, being out in this dark, you know, I mean, I'm sure the stars lighted up and everything.
Honestly, I don't think we won't be able to live in Mars unless, I think there would have to be like newborn babies born on Mars to have that type of their body I think has to be resistant to their gravity level and whatever. Because I feel like if we go there, it's just gonna mess up our whole body system. Like because we're not built for that environment for a long time.
If people were to if we were to colonize Mars, definitely the people there would be essentially aliens. That they would be, technically aliens.
Martians.
Yeah, Martians. Yes. I think Mars has maybe 40% of Earth's gravity, so they got about half of Earth's gravity. So can you imagine? So
it'll be lighter then. Right?
So yeah,
so
on 5'5" on Mars, I could dunk, man. On the 10-foot rim, I could dunk. No. Yeah, so they'd be different for sure. And I think it starts with, I think Mars doesn't have an atmosphere right now, and I think that's like kind of the biggest issue right now. But I think with like SpaceX and all these some of these other companies are starting to do is just trying to get like a flight to Mars, Really? And that would be sweet. That would be cool. It's almost like Elon Musk said, like a plan, almost like a plan B. I'm putting this in my words because he said a lot better. But like a plan, that's like a plan B. If anything were to happen to this Earth, like we're tied to here. We're tied to there's solar flares, there's meteors hitting all the time. And if we want to keep the future of humanity, that's kind of what we have to do. Is kind of,
dude, it's kind of hard to believe that Elon Musk is not a freaking alien too, bro. Like that motherfucker crazy smart.
Nah, he's smart, man. I think a lot of people like that just work hard, man. And I think they're truly special people. Mm-hmm. You gotta have you gotta be really come up like that, having a mindset like that. He has numerous. I think he has like 3 or 4 companies. He is, I think, the Tesla staple right there. SpaceX, the Boring Company. If you guys have heard of that,
Boring Company, no, I have not.
It's
pretty cool. The Boring Company.
Yeah, dude, it's cool.
We should name this podcast a whole nother name.
That's what I'm saying. No, but the Boring Company there. I don't know if you've seen they made flamethrowers. I don't know. There was a big thing. The white flamethrower.
Sold that, and he only made 25 of them.
No, he made 20,000. I think.
20,000.
And he sold them for like $500. $500 each. So I think but yeah. So and I think they're making tunnels under L.A. underground tunnels. They're like underground freeways to kind of decongest traffic in
LA. But that would be. But how would that work though? Do you know what I'm saying?
I think it's like a.
Is it just like a one-way direction in and one direction out? Or?
I'm not sure. It's like I want to say I'm not really sure how it works. All I know is they're tunnels. It's supposed to decongest traffic and stuff. But yeah, people like that are needed too.
Yeah.
To kind of push us forward, push us to new innovations.
So I also read on the article of Nikola Tesla that because of him we were ahead about 400 years in our life.
Yeah, like I said, he came out with a new invention every 28 days, something like that.
Mm-hmm. So
that's
then
crazy.
we were pretty much ahead of time by 400 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
That'd be crazy. Yeah, man. I mean, if you look at it, the history of technology recently and how it's...
Dude, that's expanding fast.
And it's just
stupid fast.
Yeah.
And do you guys ever think that technology itself would have its own mind or have its own little power that they don't need us human to control? Or
AI is becoming self-aware.
Mm-hmm, yep.
Yeah.
I
think it's possible.
My friend Jonas, shout out Jonas. He sent me a text the other night. He was like, "You should look up because I've been watching Westworld. I don't know if you guys have seen Westworld.
It's a good show. It's
What's-
confusing.
What's that about for like people that don't watch it,
Okay,
like myself?
So Westworld, I'll probably butcher this, but Westworld is pretty much this this kind of theme park that this company kind of made, and inside it they have artificial people, robots, let's say, for lack of a better word, and they create. It's based like on a Western story, so like in the cowboy era, and each of the robots, we'll call them, each of the artificial people have their own narrative, so they have their own story, and every day they repeat that same story, and they eventually develop memories.
Whoa.
And they eventually develop almost as like consciousness, and there's guests inside. They're called host, and so there's guests inside the park and everything, and it's such a cool show. It kind of gets you thinking,
yeah.
And like I was saying before, like speaking of AI, my friend he sent me a text. He's like, you should look up. I think it's called GPT-3, which is an I don't know if you heard of it. GPT-3 is
No, I haven't heard of that.
Yes.
it's it was developed by a company that Elon Musk actually helped start, but it's from OpenAI, and it's let's see here if I can get a definition here that's better than I would butcher. It says auto-regression language model that uses deep learning to produce human-like text. So I was watching a video the other night about it, and pretty much what it does, it's an example I saw was it's like a text box. You'll write, I want a web page with, let's say, a navigation bar, a search bar, like the Google image, the Google brand image, and then you'll type that in, press enter, and it will essentially create it, and center it and do everything. But not only that, it will create the code for you as well. And so there's another example where
by creating the code for you, like, what's that mean?
like the actual code, like the code behind a website,
Okay.
like the website's developed in code. HTML, CSS, those are the languages usually.
Yeah.
JavaScript. That websites are made in, so it'll develop that. So it'll pretty much make a website.
Its own.
It'll make a website for you, pretty much. And then I saw another example
Whoa,
where
I'm gonna have to take a shot for this one. Whoa.
no, it'll, and also it's really interesting. It's really super cool. But there's, as AI, artificial intelligence, there's this kind of push that it could be something innovating.
Can you give me the bottle, bro? What? Holy fuck.
No, and there was it's super cool. You'll have to watch a video, but there's this other part where it can kind of decrypt like legal documents, Okay. So you'll type in you'll like type in I think one of the examples was like the landlord wasn't keeping the house in living conditions, and then from that just statement it will create kind of the legal language of a document. So for example, it would be like I don't know. It's crazy. It's you'll just have to watch it. But yeah, AI is crazy, and it's cool, and it's also kind of scary too if you think about it.
Yeah.
This was a couple years ago. I can't remember. I forgot how I ran into it. I think it was my sister. But she was reading some kind of the article. I can't remember if it was in Russia, Germany, but it was some kind of country. But I guess they had these lab computers that these advanced lab computer that it's not available to the world yet. And I guess they were trying to communicate with each other. and as soon as the people caught that, I guess they unplugged everything and just burnt the whole computer down, just because, like, you don't see computers trying to communicate with each other, and like, I don't know, but I don't know how true that is, so don't quote me on that.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on like on the future of technology or anything?
I mean, technology is always improving and making advancements. As far as AIs go, I mean, if AIs learn from people, I mean, who's to stop? What's to stop an AI from somehow like getting in contact with another AI, and they learn from each other, and they just keep learning.
It's endless learning.
Yeah.
Dude, that's scary, because then they can overpower us.
I mean,
I don't know.
We probably won't be at that point yet, but eventually, if we create enough of these, I guess you would say, devices or phones or cars or robots in like plants and stuff.
I mean, we're kind of heading that way, like rapidly too.
Yeah.
Expeditiously.
Yeah. As far as like automatic cars go, like not having to drive, self-driving cars, that's like honestly gonna be a while, like, because you have to think about every single road not only has to be mapped out, but those cars drive. It's like there's a magnetic system. Like they put something.
I think it's possible, because I mean, Elon Musk kind of unbroke that chain a little.
It's possible, but I mean, it's going to be a while before that's enacted. When I was in my auto tech program, my instructor was telling me more about it, and how the cities, like, there are some big cities that are trying to do the automatic cars and have some automatic driving cars, but all the roads that they drive on have been lined with whatever it is. I forget what he said, like magnetic strips or wires and whatnot for these cars, so that they know what roads to follow, and then they also have like the cameras and whatnot for the sensors.
Well, maybe we might not even have like automatic cars. Maybe we might have some flying cars.
Dude.
Flying cars are something that I saw that they're working on. There have been a few with successful like test drives with passengers, but like they only have like a 12-minute flight time. So that's what they're working on right now. They predict that within the next 2 years that these are going to be available to the public.
See, and like that's what's crazy, that we're rapidly going so deep in this technology stuff that we don't realize that we might.
Well, shoot, man, we'll be.
Hopefully,
30
I'll be dead by then.
No, dude, I want to see all that. It is exciting. But definitely when I'm older, I'm gonna be like that guy. Those people off Wall-E, sitting on the chair, just not having to do it, sipping on my soda, on the side, not doing anything on a ship, that's gonna be the future.
So do you guys think that we'll be able to create like a cyborg type of, like a human mixed with I mean, we kind of do already.
We have like
in a way.
We have like mechanical prosthetics, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Who knows? I mean, I think movies and like sci-fi films and stuff kind of have opened up our imagination to kind of that possibility, and it's cool. It's
good.
Cool.
It's good to have imagination, and that's how we expand as together in the world.
Well, Eric, you got anything else you want to say?
Thank you for having me.
Dude, thank you for coming. I mean, you're the one that's driving here, so
yeah.
Thanks for dropping all that knowledge on bees, and
I'm always happy to talk about bees.
Yeah. Hey, shout out your Instagram page, man.
Yeah, follow me on Instagram, Facebook. We're the Joplin Buzz.
Joplin Buzz.
Yeah.
Okay.
Joplin Buzz.
Instagram and Facebook. We got some bee content, and as the season starts, we'll have some more bee content up and posted.
Awesome. Well, I hope everything goes as planned, and hope to have you back in again.
Yeah.
But I think that's it for this one.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next time.